Hey everybody, welcome back. James here again with you at the bench here. I got a target set up about 30 yards downrange, and I'm going to be using one of my favorite pellets. Now I shoot all the time, literally every day, and it gets expensive if you're using pellets that you have to pay for, and then you have to pay for shipping. Well, the thing is, Crossman's never endorsed me or sponsored me before, but still to this day, pellet per pellet, the Crossman Premier Hollow Point 14 3-grain 22 caliber, which I love. If you know me, I love 22 calibers. Pellet per pellet, they cannot be beat per the price. And with that said, currently I'm getting these at my local department stores for like $6.50 a tin. They used to be a little bit cheaper than that, but with everything going up, for 500 pellets still, $6.50 a tin, that is still very, very, very inexpensive. And not only that they are inexpensive, but they perform well. So I have my one of my short range hunting setups here, and it's my Air Venturi Avenger 22. And I got the regulator set at 2200 psi with one turn in. Now it's my short range setup, and I'm running the ATN Excite 4K on it. Got the car mag loaded with the Crossman Premier pellet. I think if I remember right, these are going around 700 feet a second. When I messed with it before at the same setting when I was bullfrog hunting with it. But don't let that fool you that these are just set up for short range pellets or anything like that. I have had major, and I mean major, success with these pellets at longer range. Now I'm just going to pop off a couple shots here. Get my scope focused in, and just to see how spot on they are, because I got my quick detach mounts here. I adjusted them with just a hair, and this is at 30 yards. I zeroed it at 20 before. Jeez. But anyways, while I'm sitting here, guys, like I said, these pellets, you can tune them to any gun you want, any velocity. I've had really good success with these pellets, shooting them at low velocity, high velocity, even at around 1,000 feet a second. So let me go ahead and show you that clip now.
977, 30.3. 977, 30.3. 984, 30.7. 981, 30.6. 984, 30.7. 981, 30.6.
Okay, so even at 1,000 feet a sec, they shoot really good. It just comes down to me not pulling. Obviously it wasn't the gun there, and you know, they just shoot lights out, and I got more proof of that at 50 yards also. But then again, I turned the gun down to 2 turns. I was shooting, I think, at 4 turns or so, 3 turns to get it that high. It doesn't really matter. These pellets can be tuned to any velocity you want. Now the velocity, again, only refers to the yardage you're shooting. And again, I've had these pellets at 100 yards and had some incredible results. But, you know, still at 50, I'm able to hit playing cards back to back, even left-handed. I'm a right-hand shooter, but I'm an ambidextrous shooter. Check this out. Woo! Back to back. Left hand, left eye, 2 cards, 50 yards, Crossman Premier Hollow Point, 14 3-grain. So as you've seen there, of shooting left-handed and hitting 2 playing cards back to back, these pellets just shoot amazing once the gun is tuned in for them. And again, I don't use velocity as a reference. I know that some people are like, how is that possible? I can actually see the pellet in flight and determine whether or not what I need to do, not velocity wise. I mean, I can adjust the hammer spring if I want, but if you've been following along on the channel, you know, I do all kinds of adjustments, not just for velocity. But other than that, then I took them out to 100 yards at the 2200 PSI regulator setting with 2 turns in on the hammer spring. And if I remember off the top of my head, they were going between 850 and 860 feet a second. A 14 3-grain pellet shooting at 100 yards, guys, and shooting good as long as I do my part. Check that out. Woo! Sub MOA, 100 yards, Crossman Premier Hollow Points. Here we go, right there. Cider shot, and I pulled one. There's a quarter. Can cover the shots, follow them. Woo! Crossman Premier 14 3-grain. Well, this gun is definitely capable of taking squirrel shots at the 30-yard mark or so with these pellets. But as you've seen there at 100 yards, sub MOA, as long as I do my part, as you've seen, I had to follow up because I pulled one. But again, that is insane. Under 1-inch groups at 100 yards with the Crossman Premier Hollow Point 14.3 grain pellet at around the 850, 860 feet a second mark in wind. So after I got it dialed in just right, again, I have all my methods of doing it, tuning my rifles. I had to. I shot 2 cards, playing cards on edge, back to back, guys, at 100 yards. Check it out. Woo! 2 cards, back to back, Crossman Premier Hollow Points, 100 yards. Woo! Well, they just keep going almost in the same hole down there at 30 yards at this such low velocity. This is a perfect setup for close range hunting, no doubt. And as you've seen, these pellets are just crazy what they can actually do when you get them tuned in for any rifle you want. You know, obviously I have my own methods, like I mentioned before, not just velocity, you know, but again, that really opened my eyes of what these pellets can do, because I've struggled with getting decent groups out of them in the past at that yardage, because at that yardage, what happens is they're such a light pellet, you know, if you don't get it just right, if you don't get the tuning just right, they want to go up and then just drop like a rock at that yardage. But like I mentioned before, these pellets, you know, for the price per pellet, they cannot be beat, especially as much as I shoot. And again, I shoot every day. I'm fortunate enough to do that and be able to make these videos. But again, you know, that is crazy that I was able to get these pellets to shoot that good at that yardage. Again, I'm not going to be shooting that far all the time, but I have the capability now, knowing that I can do it. And if I really wanted to get them tuned back in for that, I could. But anyways, I thought I'd share with you guys, you know, one of the best pellets out there, in my opinion, for the price point. They still cannot be beat. And if you can get them tuned in for whatever you're shooting, that's even better. So I appreciate you watching as always, and I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I truly appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks again.